So I wanted to shout out, especially Winnie, really quick. So Winnie was president before I took over, and that's because she moved into a new role within the region, and is our regional ambassador for KWYP. So she has been taking the helm of KWYP across the Carolinas. Before she got started, we had 2 chapters, ours here in Charleston, and the chapter up in Raleigh. And we are getting ready to launch 5 new chapters across the Carolinas, which is really, really exciting. That said, this went blank. I want to talk about our next chapter meeting. It's not until May, so Tuesday, May 17th. We are hoping that it's going to be at a location downtown to be determined. Hopefully by the end of the week, we'll know for sure. So pretty exciting stuff there. Space Coast, Florida. If anybody wants an excuse to get down to Florida, a tax write-off trip, they are doing their launch party on May 13th through the 15th. So it's coming up in a couple weeks. They've got a really big panel, the whole wealth building component to their launch party. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Another really big exciting thing that we've got coming up is our KWYP National Summit. So took a spin off last year's regional event that we had up in Atlanta. We're taking it to a whole different level this year. It's going to be in Nashville, Tennessee. And we have already had over 300 people sign up to be there. So we're expecting between 300 and 500 people from all over the country to be in Nashville for KWYP. It's going to be an incredible weekend of events. Day 2, one of the big panels, it's actually a VIP exclusive part of the panel is a wealth building portion. And so they've got a group of people that are killing it in real estate. One in particular, she is 27, 28, I think. And she has 40 rental properties.
And just started real estate how many years ago?
3.
Like what?
So she has gone from 0 homes owned to she owns 42 now that it's kind of crazy. And I mean, she's just crushing it.
And that's going to be an exclusive event with less tickets.
Correct. So we've got some really amazing people that are going to be part of this group. We guys want you to be a part of it if you want to. One of the big things is that a lot of people have made fun of us in this office because it's, you know, the young people. Well, it's very nice to know. And actually, you know, Maggie is a member.
I am.
And she's young. And she's
I'm
young.
not saying that at all.
And
I'm saying
she's
Maggie
young.
is a member. But also, we have eliminated the under 40 requirements. So that's not a thing anymore. Obviously, it is geared toward people who are new in the business or young. You know, so it's just one of those things where it's a like-minded group of individuals. I'll also tell you that we have some really cool things coming up too with our learning within the YP community. We're doing a career visioning specifically within YP. That kicks off in May. And then we also have the Quantum Leap Summit with Gary Keller. So it's an opportunity for us to take Quantum Leap with Gary Keller, which is generally designed for those like 24 and under. But we get an opportunity to do it with Gary Keller himself. And that's coming up in June. I think that's all I've got.
Awesome. Let's go ahead. Who's taking QL with Gary Keller? We just got back. Well, yeah, we just got back from where were we? Austin, Texas. It was awesome. And we got the opportunity to listen to Gary Keller talk for a few hours about QL. It's life-changing. It's an awesome opportunity. So for those in YP, definitely dive into that. It's an amazing. It's all about, who knows what Quantum Leap is? Does anybody want to share?
I mean, Quantum Leap is about, you know, designing your life plan, figuring out what your path is, why you do it, and what your life looks like at the end of your life.
Yeah, living a purposeful life, how to live a purposeful life, how to make a plan, right? I love it. CDP, career development. Woo-woo! Give her a hand.
So I wanted to share.
He hasn't
this
said
number
bada
with
bing, bada
y'all
bold yet, so that's good.
Because
Oh, Lord of mercy.
Okay, I guess.
I wanted
You have
to
a
share
caller.
this number with y'all because this was the production from the career development program agents for the month of March. I think it's Steely had 2 closings. Tim Ludford had 2 closings. He has since moved to New York to crush the New York market. Lorena Dolan had 2 closings. Rashad Coles had a closing. Dakota Reese had 1 closing. Liz Mulholland had her first closing, and Tamia Madrid. So they all worked their fannies off, and you can tell by this number. So they're on fire. Anyone that is curious about the career development program and how it can support you and help you grow, please come and find me. It would be my pleasure to share what I know with you and hopefully help you on your way.
Oh, that's one. Real quick. So,
Every time.
about career development. So I've had the amazing opportunity to meet with Delisha very regularly about building this amazing program from the ground up. And it is massively evident how much she cares about diving into people, pouring into people, and helping them create a massive career in real estate. And it is unbelievable to see some of the results now. She's doing an amazing job at coaching and consulting agents and changing their life. So a huge round of applause. Anna? Oh,
Oh, boy.
please.
Here we go. Don't cry, Delisha, okay?
Whatever you want.
Okay, so I'll say, so most of you know by now, yeah, I'm an experienced agent, been in business 10 years. And I hit a serious wall in my career. And I will say a big part of why I'm here today is because of Delisha. And when I first sat down with Vince and John Crompton also, he's like, do you want to just go single? You can, or do you want to go the CDP route? And I was like, well, personally, where I'm at personally in my life, I feel it's best that I go the CDP route. And I need that like extra kick in the butt. And I'm thankful that Delisha was that person. So.
All right. Love it. Great.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
All right.
All right, so CES, we have, we're towards the end of the month now, but Tech Tuesday, presentation is everything, so the last 4 days, well, they're 2 days long, you get what I'm saying. May.
No one got it.
Got it.
but
It's
continue.
all right, it's for 2 days at the last 4 days of the month, so.
The
Look at
27th.
CES calendar, it'll be out in the
It's
region.
on the calendar too, so just so you know that. Tech Tuesdays are also in May. 6 scripts that changed my career with Chris Hurley is on the 10th. Win-win negotiations, luxury. So if you're interested in luxury, that might be a good class for you as well. They're all on the calendar, all have links. If you have questions, reach out to me. We also have Red Day on there, so they don't have anything on that day as well. Winnie?
Yeah, that sounds super interesting.
Yeah. I know, because I don't know anything about crypto. I don't even know what it is.
So I'm really excited to bring, so everybody, hopefully you guys have, y'all saw, we did a passive income stream. Basically, we're talking about that. So we did an Airbnb wealth building Wednesday, and then we did a flipping, and we had Barbarian Scott Baskin. Okay, yeah, we're gonna do that one again. But so I don't know anything about crypto. Does anybody know what crypto is? Okay, cool. That's really neat. Well, Jocelyn is really amazing. She's been in real estate just a few years, but one of the things that she's going to teach us is, yes, what is crypto? How can it, and like all that kind of stuff. But she actually has been using selling real estate using crypto. So I'm like, oh, wow, that's just far beyond my head. So I'm just excited to bring other wealth building opportunities to you guys through passive income, profit share, investing, whether it's, traditional strategies, non-traditional strategies. So be sure to come here. She will be on Zoom, but we will be meeting here. I want you guys to be in person because then we can ask questions and stuff like that. So we'll be in this office. It is on April 27th at 1:30. Next Wednesday. Next Wednesday. Oh, yeah, it's next Wednesday. Mark your calendar. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. Dragon Boat, I don't have all the information on this. I know Desiree is heading this up. But it's May 7th. They have a few practice days, I think.
6 spots left. So if you're
6
interested in
spots left,
rowing.
Yes. If you are interested in joining, reach out to Desiree for more information, but they're doing this in honor of Bob Romella, who was once an agent with us. And he did this every year.
Yeah, and the proceeds, I believe, I can't remember the name. of the
Cancer
organization,
survivors.
but It goes toward cancer survivors. Desiree's has been something that was really near and dear to Bob's heart. And for those of you that, I know there are a lot of faces in here know Bob. And for those, and Desiree, because Desiree is also a cancer survivor. So it's an awesome event. And I believe it's May 7th, and there are a couple of practice days. So if you're looking to get involved, shoot an email to anybody on the leadership team or Desiree Mauer, and we'll get you signed up.
I do know they need a drummer still.
Oh,
so
yeah,
if you want to
they need
keep
a
the
drummer.
beats.
And I think they needed 7 more spots. for
Yeah,
top.
6 or 7.
Yeah.
So.
What happens if you don't keep the beat? Does it throw the whole boat off?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how you row. They throw you over.
That's why I'm not gonna be the
No
drummer.
musical talent.
But there's
They
probably
throw you
someone in
over.
here that would love to do that, so we're not discouraging you from volunteering.
Alright, so we also have this in-person CS class coming here, May 17th. So don't mistake that for CS, and the CE class happening the next day, which we'll talk about. But this is a regional class that is the 7-figure sphere, building a consistent business with people who love you. So talking about it's much more than building your database, but taking it to the 7-figure sphere. I'll speak to that as well.
Who's
So-
teaching that, do you know?
Christina,
Something?
We'll get the
Right
instructor.
there.
Yeah.
In the whole region, there's
I
probably
got
one
it.
or two.
So, real quick, I talk to agents every day. And one of the number one things I constantly hear is we need more leads. I need more leads. And I'll ask, so what's the unit goal for the year? And they'll give a unit goal, and then we'll pull out their phone, right? The thing that everybody has sitting in front of them, and we'll scroll to their contacts list. How many people, what percentage of a data set turns over and transacts every year? About, on average, according to NAR, not me. 7%, close, 6%, right? So if I have 1,000 people on my phone, what's 1,000 times 6%? Like 60, right? So 60, that means 60 transactions are gonna happen in your telephone, in that data set, right? And if your goal is 24, do you really need more leads, or you just have to figure out a better way to communicate with the people that you already know? I get it, there are some people in there that you probably don't want to talk to, right? And that's fine, take them out, but you still have a pretty large a pretty large opportunity, right? This class is imperative, right? I'm pretty sure more than 60% of the real estate transactions, according to some of the slides from Family Reunion and the vision speech by Gary Keller, almost 60-some% of real estate transactions came from referral or from Sphere. You gotta be in this class. And it's gonna be here locally and in person, which is what we all love. So be here, May 17th, mark your calendars right now, it's huge.
it's being taught by Christina Brown with the white.
Christina Brown.
Thank you.
And then the day after, we have a 2-credit-hour CE class. This goes to helping renew your license. So if you need to renew your license this year, get ahead of it because you need a total of 16 credit hours, 10 provided by LLR. Being a member of CTAR is 6 additional. Beyond that though, if you are not renewing this year, you can get ahead on it. So come join
It's
us.
free.
Yeah, it's free CE. Well, I think we're gonna have lunch as well or breakfast. I think it starts at 10 a.m. So, yes.
Just a quick question. This is my first time renewing. I need some help with CE. Who can I go to? Is that you? Or?
Yes, if you have questions about CE, or don't really know the process, contact myself or Laura and, we'll point you in the right direction. We'll go from there. Any other questions? Even if you just joined, you can take this too, because you can get ahead.
She's like, please get ahead. So I'm just in here all doing-
I'm gonna be like, it worries me every year. I'm like, y'all aren't gonna. Everyone is.
All right. Keep on rocking. So mark your date. run through a couple of cool numbers. Who was at the, what did we call that thing? What was that called?
I don't know.
Winning your
Stars
numbers
or
or-
us or
Market,
something.
your winning story.
Your winning story, yeah. So who was at that? The winning, it was a great group. Yeah, and those individuals were all up more than the market for the first quarter, which is epic. We're gonna talk about how, well, in that course, you could learn how to use those numbers to your advantage. But real quick, I just want to rip through how amazing everybody's is in this room and in this brokerage. So let's go through the March year-to-date review. So listings taken, 63% increase year over year. What does it mean if there's a 63% increase year over year? Yeah, this is year-to-date. What does that mean? 63% increase. It means for every 10 homes we listed last year, we took 6 more this year. Actually 7, because I'll round up. Because you can't take 6.3, you gotta take 7, right? So 7 more. For every 10 we took last year, we took 7 more this year, right? People want to be on a winning team. We're beating the market. We're taking more listings in the market by 1,000%, right? People want to be on a winning team. Use these statistics and these stories to your advantage in your listing presentation, right? What's next? Closed units. I already said that in the month of March, we closed the most units as a brokerage ever, right? 200, which is epic. 202, sorry, which is epic. We're up 95% year over year. That's pretty unbelievable. The market's down 6.6%, 1,500% more than the market. Pretty unbelievable story, right? All of these things we can use in our listing presentation. You could also use your own numbers, by the way, right? Because if you look at your numbers, maybe you're up more than the market than what you did last year, right? Again, people want to be on a winning team. What's next? And closed volume, 131% more. Why does closed volume matter? More money. That's how you get paid, by the way, on volume. So this is really, really an awesome story. Let's give a hand. Nice. So month to date, 223% increase in GCI. Year to date, we're up 130%. So for the gross commission income that we made last year, all of you, when I say we, that's everybody here plus the rest of the 218 people, right? The amazing 218 agents. More than doubled their money year over year. It's a pretty unbelievable statistic. Does everybody in this room want to make money?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a good thing. You can say it. It's amazing, right? Money is good for the good that it can do, right? We're in business to make money. You're making 130% more than you did last year. That's epic. I feel like I'm the only one excited. It's unbelievable. 130%. It's awesome. What's cool is we're on track for more than $20 million of GCI at the end of 2022. 2022, right? This 2022. More than 20 million. Last year we closed almost 13. Pretty good. Not too shabby. Let's give a hand. So, go back. So,
Need a blank slide.
yeah.
We need a
So I
blank
can
slide.
catch my-
Vince thinking
Figure out
here.
Yeah. See how this goes. So, oh boy.
Vince
So
pause.
that's gonna be the next
Oh
step.
boy.
So.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Oh, God. No.
Big bada boom. So.
There are no words.
I gotta have fun. I mean, so I have a lot of conversations with a lot of amazing people, a lot of you sit in this room, right? And who's thought this is a relatively difficult year? Who's had been like, wow, this is kind of hard. Like, shit, I gotta do it again, right? I know that sometimes I get to the end of a month and I'm like, all right, that was awesome. And the scoreboard is 0. And I gotta do it again, right? Is that tiring? It's relatively tiring. And I know that a lot of the conversations that I've been having with agents have been around how do I keep on going? How do I keep my foot on the skinny pedal? Because it is stinking exhausting. I know, I'm honest, I'm exhausted. How do you get up every day and just keep on going? How do you keep your foot on the skinny pedal, right? So I was talking to a dear friend yesterday lot of you might know him, Logan Webster. And he's the TL up in Myrtle Beach. I have an amazing relationship with him. We always talk about, you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time around. He is one of those 5 for me. And I'm going to draw something for you shortly, and it'll kind of really put it together why those 5 are so important. But what I'll say to it is, I was talking to him and I was like, man, I'm tired. And I was really just asking him for a couple of ideas. And what he ended up saying was, dude, growth fatigue is real. Who's ever heard of growth fatigue? When you grow real fast, you get super tired, right? And I was like, well, how in the world do we get through it? How do we keep on going when we don't think we can keep on going any longer? And it's a simple concept. It was funny because he actually drew me back to this stinking book that everybody's in. A lot of the individuals in here getting read by Maggie. The MREA, mine doesn't have a cover, but it kind of looks like this. I guess it's because I read it so much. That's great. That's cute. That's awesome. But he brought me back to this, right? Because when
Oh, yes, those work.
because, and some have seen me draw this before, because what he said to me is like, well, you got to go back to the way that you think about what your issue is, right? Because everything starts with the way that we think about it. Have you ever heard that saying, whether you say you can or you can't, you're always right?
Yes.
It's your thinking, it's the way that you're thinking about something. So you got the way that you think is always powered by your big why. I'm gonna get into that quick. It's always powered by your big why. Does anybody know what a big why is? Right? It's the reason that we're going. It's the reason we keep on getting up, right? That's gonna power our thinking. The way we think is gonna drive our behavior. And the way we behave is going to drive our habits. Our habits naturally are going to draw people around us, and it's going to determine the relationships that are in our life. Has anybody heard of that saying? I always goof like these cliches that people come up with. They don't just come out of nowhere. Some are true, some aren't, but they really don't come out of nowhere. There's some validity, most of them, right? You're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time around. Nobody got to the top by themselves, right? All of these things. Relationships are so key. I know that I have some very, very near and dear relationships that they are imperative in me continuing to keep on moving on, right? Relationships, like the one I just talked about with Logan, drives your results. Who likes results? Thank you. Everybody's put their hand up. I love results. Probably too much. If we don't, who set a goal at the beginning of the year? Awesome. Everybody should have their hand up. Right? If you didn't set a goal, come talk to me. Let's set one. Right? Keep your hands up. Who's not hitting their goal? Keep their hands up.
Not.
Not hitting the goal.
Oh, you keep your hand up for not?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, isn't it terrible?
We shame people here.
Right? Who is hitting the goal?
We motivate to
Keep your hands
shame.
up if you're hitting the goal. I love it. This is epic so far. It's epic. If you don't like, is that good or bad? Is it good or bad?
Yes.
It doesn't really
It
matter.
is what
The
it
answer
is.
is yes.
I mean, it is.
Yes is the answer, right? The first step is awareness. The second step is decide whether, like, how do I feel about it, whether I want to change it. So if I want to change my results, what do? I'm coming back to the way that I think about it.
I have a quick quote to share.
Let's hear it.
What you believe about yourself is what you become.
Oh, yeah.
Repeat it. Repeat
Yeah,
it.
repeat that.
No, you.
Oh, me, say it again so I can get it.
What you believe about yourself is what you become.
What you believe about yourself is what you become. That's all. Everybody should write that down. It is epic. I love that. 100%.
I'm preparing myself to get started, okay,
Keep it up. You got the mindset down. Click them up here.
I will.
So, and again, this conversation was profound for me. Sometimes you need a kick in the rear end, right? And he forced me to think, to one, become aware of the fact that it's okay to be a little tired, right? Like, let's give ourselves some grace.
Yeah.
And then second, how are you gonna think about it different? Where do you have to go? Who do you have to become, right? Where can you start to change your thinking? Well, oddly enough, the stupid MREA book always seems to have cancer. It's unbelievable. So, ask.
Slide, ...
Because I have to remember what the next
Vince
slide
transition.
is. So who knows, how many ways does a millionaire real estate agent think? It's in the book.
Almost.
Tell us.
9.
There are 9 ways a millionaire real estate agent thinks. By the way, quick sidebar here, millionaire real estate agent. In that, it talks of, the whole book is called Millionaire Real Estate Agent, right? What does it mean? Millionaire real estate agent.
Means what you want it to mean.
It
Like, what's a
means,
millionaire to
exactly,
you?
it means whatever, it means you're being successful, you're hitting your goals. That's what it means to me, right? It's a big model, which we're gonna talk about, as to how to hit your goals. Whether that's $1 million, whether that's $100. Those models in the book can help you do it, right? And it's really not just in real estate, which is the reason that I love the book, because it's about how to build any business, right? And how to think about any business. So who knows the first 4 ways that a millionaire real estate agent thinks?
I know what number
Camille's not in
6
here,
is.
so we gotta
Is
go with
one of
Maggie
them
and
powered
Haley.
by a big Y? Is that
Being
one?
powered by a big
Powered, yes, powered by a big why. What's second?
Action. No, second is,
What was it?
Did you say optimism?
No, positive being.
Powered by a big why is the first one. You gotta be positive, yes. Powered by a big why, big goals, big models. Third, really put myself on top.
I don't know them all in order.
I know, right?
Think possibility, which is my favorite. Think possibility. And 4,
You have it, Maggie.
Oh, I forgot. what
take
it
action.
is.
4 is take
Take
action.
action.
So what does think powered by a big why mean?
Why are your feet at the floor? What drives you?
What drives you, right? And here's the only reason that I don't like the term big why. Big, the word big automatically makes me compare my big why to Maggie's or to Wendy's or to anybody else in this room. It's not about big, small, right, left, up, down. It's about clear. The clearer the big why is, and the clearer the reason in which you're getting up every day is, the easier it's gonna be to push through the shit. 100%, because there's gonna be a time where you hit a wall. You're gonna say to yourself, what in the heck am I doing? This is exhausting. I don't really feel like doing this anymore. But when you go back to your big why and you think about the reason in which you're doing it, you get a little bit more motivated. And if you don't, think even bigger, right? And think even deeper, because as you start to articulate your big why, it's gonna change over time. It's okay, because it can pile up. Right? Bunch of small whys piling into a bigger why, if you want to call it that, right? But it just has to be clear. So number 1 is start with a big why. Number 2, think big goals and big models. What does that mean?
You
Gotta
think
be-
too small. You're never gonna hit. If you dream really big, you aim really big. So your effort is really big. But if you think down here like, okay, well, I think I just want to make $50,000 or whatever that is, then you may end up down here at 30. So it doesn't have to be numbers, it can be anything, but
Absolutely.
and say it better than me, Vince.
What-
Setting yourself up for success with the models, like even if you haven't, like, it's almost like you need to grow into your bridges.
If I did, and shoot for the moon, land in the stars.
Well, it has to be big enough to get you up when you don't feel like doing it.
Exactly.
It's not an easy.
100%. It's not an easy business. That comes back to the why, right?
I mean,
But the big models and big systems, the big models and the big goals, that's, again, if I shoot for most of the time in 1 year, we overestimate what we can do in 1 year and we underestimate what we can do in 5. But when I think big about what my future looks like, that big goal is going to drive me through a bunch of big models to a bigger goal and ensure that I hit the smaller goals along the way that are necessary to hit the big goal, right? Does Roger Bannister, the first person that ran the 4-minute mile, does anybody know how he did it? For years, everybody said you couldn't run a 4-minute mile. This guy was like, it's in the book, but I think it was a professor or something like that. And at his lunch break, every day for 30 minutes, he went outside and he ran 10 consecutive quarter miles with the goal of running them in less than 1 minute. So then what did he do? Eventually, as he worked his way up, he was able to run 4 consecutive quarter miles in less than a minute each, 3 minutes, 59 seconds, and a couple milliseconds, and did it. Now, here's the cool thing about that. Think possibility. Where's the thing that makes good? Oh, I don't have to. Think possibility. How long did it take for somebody else to run a 4-minute mile?
Weeks later.
I mean.
Yeah,
not
less than
long.
2 months. Like less than 2 months. It's unbelievable. How come? Because actually the guy that ran it, the second one, he had been trying for years, was a better runner than Roger Bannister and never could do it. Because he didn't think possibility. Because he didn't break it down and think big models, big goals. It's a fascinating thing. At Quantum Leap last week, Gary Keller said something that really hit me right between the eyes. He said, if you don't know what your limits are, the idea of realistic is irrelevant. I can't stand the word realistic. Like, I've never sold any real estate. Do we know this? Right? Oh, my goodness gracious. And I lead one of the largest real estate offices in Charleston. Is that realistic? No, that is asinine. Doesn't make any sense. Some goofball from Jersey. But I thought possibility. Somebody else, and by the way, relationships, right? Somebody else saw it and helped me see it. That's the other beautiful thing about the relationships that we have around us. Sometimes we don't even see the possibility for ourselves, which is why it's so imperative that we have the right people around us. Because if you would have asked me 3 years ago, Maggie knows this, you would have asked me 3 years ago whether I was ever going to be a team leader, I was an MCA. I resisted this position for 1.5 years.
Yep.
And hated what I was doing, and I was horrible at it. Right? I said, absolutely no way, not a chance. But somebody else saw it in me, helped me believe possibility, and we've done some pretty good things together. Some pretty awesome things. It's unbelievable what happens in your world when you think possibility. It's a pretty exciting thing. And by the way, is that thinking big? Is that having other individuals in your life help you think big? Does it change the results that you get in your life? Pretty epic. It is pretty epic. Now, it doesn't matter how big you think, how big your why is, how amazing all the people around you are, and how amazing the models and systems that you have around you are. If you don't take action and hit the damn skinny pedal and get after it, ain't nothing gonna change. Ever. And by the way, you're never actually gonna find a way to fix anything that breaks, because I can sit here and conceptualize and come up with a bunch of ideas as to why I shouldn't take action and why it's gonna be real hard, but most of them aren't gonna be true. It's not until you take action, fail, because the next one is think without fear, right? What does fear stand for?
False evidence appearing real.
False evidence appearing real. Forget everything and run. How about face everything and rise? Get after it. What was it? Yeah, forget everything and run. Get after it.
We need
Hit the skin
t-shirts.
pedal. It's okay. What's the worst thing that happens? You fail. Failure only matters, like, you never really fail until you quit. Nobody in this room's gonna quit. That would be goofy. What was it? No, thank you. No, I'm not gonna quit either.
Not today.
Not today. That's like Jimmy Valvano. Don't give up, don't ever give up, right? If you've never seen that SB speech by Jimmy Valvano, right? Unbelievable SB speech. Go look it up. Like, never quit.
We having a
never
church
give up,
service?
right? So take action. What do we take action around? That's the next question everybody asks. Well, what do I do? Who's taking bold? Don't say it.
Bada bing, bada boom.
No, Tiffany.
It's kind of caught on.
Do it, I do.
I don't hate it.
Who's taking bold?
5
minutes over, sorry.
Oh, I've taken it, sorry.
You've taken it,
Like
yeah.
9 times.
What are the 5 things? So we talk about action. Who's heard of the 80-20 principle? What is it?
80% of the results are delivered by 20% of people or activities.
Exactly. 80% of the results are driven by 20% of your activities. Well, what are the 20% activities of the real estate agent?
Lead
Who
gen.
knows?
I know, I know.
Role play.
Lead gen?
Lead follow-up,
What else?
Go on appointments.
Go on appointments,
negotiate.
negotiate contracts, and
Script practice and role play.
script practice and role play, right? Those are the 5.
We're 5
So if
minutes
you
over.
don't know
We're
what
gonna
to
speed this
do,
along.
go do one of those 5 things. But you're not gonna be able to do any of those 5 things unless you do these 4 first, or these 3 first. Oh, they go up, they go up. Right? Without these 3 things, action becomes more difficult. But I believe in everybody sitting in this room, probably more than you believe in yourself. And everything is possible. If I could become a decent team leader, if Donald can build a massive organization, right?
He's got a point.
Thank you, Donald. We can do it. Everybody in this room has the chance to do whatever they want to do if they put their mind to it and they believe in themselves. So get after it, go do it. And I'm humbled to be in business with each and every one of you. You guys are awesome.
Awesome.
I already told him.
Oh, all right.
All righty.